Hey guys, welcome to the show. Tonight I have a guest with me whose name is Jasen Rauch.
Close.
Ruoff.
Also close.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So how do you say your last name?
It's Rauch. Rhymes with cow. So you know.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to be
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the good people what you are, who you do?
Oh, man. Probably best known for the guitar player Breaking Benjamin. Work with other bands too on the production writing side, but that's my full-time gig.
Are you allowed to say what other bands?
I mean, most recently, last thing I did was with our other guitar player solo project, Keith Wallen. But I worked with Mudvayne, Disturbed, Korn, a lot of bands in the mid-2000s, a lot of tooth and nail bands back in the day. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So
what do you do with those other bands?
Write and produce, record them, yeah, make records.
Do you like how I told you in particular that I wasn't going to ask you these kind of questions? And then I immediately started in?
Let's go for it.
So now that you guys know who he is, we can leave all that behind because how many podcasts and shows and interviews?
Yeah, I've done a couple.
I tattooed him for 2 days in a row, today being the second of the days. And you even stopped and did a interview yesterday.
Yeah, I had to do a radio interview in the middle of the session, yeah.
You're very professional.
I try to be.
Kind of sexy. You know what I mean?
I gotta
very, very nice.
My forward-thinking face.
Yeah. Sitting shirtless.
Oh, yeah.
In a haunted house. Talking to some radio guy in Ohio.
Setting. I know, yeah. Yeah,
Sounds
you would
like
ask me after the fact, like, what city, what station was that for? I'm like,
Actually, you know what?
I still think it's, yeah.
Because we started filming. So here it is right here. Here's a preview clip of what we're going to be making in probably 6 months or so.
Yeah.
You'll see the whole progress of his back, but roll it.
All right. Bye.
So which one was that for?
That's for Cleveland, maybe? it's an Ohio show. I don't remember which one it is. It's different. Yeah. His name's Josh. I've talked to him before in the past, but yeah, we'll be out there. It's Cleveland, I think.
So yeah, he has no idea where he is or what he does in life.
No. I have a good friend, Jeremy Jerome, who takes care of that kind of stuff for us when we need.
Do not like him.
He is
it's like Voldemort around here. You don't mention Jerome.
The one who
let alone twice.
I know. For context, while we're on tour, you're absolutely right. It's just like a vortex of no date and time. There's no weekends. There's no, today's Monday. Unless you're putting in the effort to know what each day is, what time zone, what state, what city.
Is that Jerome's fault that you can't listen to The Weeknd on tour?
Yeah.
You guys are hearing it first on A.S.S. Breaking Benjamin members cannot listen to The Weeknd.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to feel?
Honored.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to like that.
Listen, man, I've known you for how many years now?
Yeah, it's been a handful. I was trying to think about that over dinner. Yeah.
Too long.
Not long enough, baby. We're just getting started.
Damn it. Yeah. I don't want to do an interview with you on the show about Breaking Benjamin, although I love that band. You guys are amazing. The new record coming out. Can you say that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So how many awesome things are you doing on that record?
Doing a lot.
Yeah, but like you're not only just in the band, you're
producing, engineering on this one, a lot of writing.
So if you guys don't know, like he's more than just the guitar player, even a Breaking Benjamin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fortunate.
Well, I don't want to do an interview like everyone else does. I want to know, like, do you believe in aliens?
Oh, dude. Don't get me started on this. I'm not going to go all Tom DeLonge on you, but I think aliens exist. Here's my caveat, though. He's way more educated on the subject than I ever want to be.
I know. So he has a whole business, right?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, more power to him, but I think they do exist, but not in the like typical Homo sapien form that is formed in, the long green faceless man that's in horror movies and stuff like that. I don't know that that's a thing, but it could be maybe even like in the bacteria form. It could be in, the whole like conversation about space and time and things like that.
Like dimensional?
Yeah. Well, that too. But even space and time, like I had it explained to me one time where if we're trying to get to Mars or whatever, and it takes us this long to get there and on a space-time continuum here. Well, if you can learn to bend and fold that, right? So it comes down like this and these 2 points get closer together. Now you can jump.
Event Horizon.
That's it.
Remember that movie?
Yeah. So that kind of thing, there's got to be something out there that can do that. Yeah. And we have too many unexplained things here.
Do you think that could possibly be your mind?
Maybe.
Can our mind do that?
Possibly.
You know what I mean? Like you go back in time, you listen to I mean, even Einstein, how they used to meditate and travel in their brain, or
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting. Thought.
Early autism, right there. Yeah, superpowers.
Do you believe? Do you believe like in cryptids at all, or any other kind of like?
I'm not sure. I'm not very educated on that.
Well, none of us are. It's not real.
Right.
But
there's so many different theories out there about different kinds of things and different influences, different things that may be here, may not be here.
What would be your favorite one?
I mean, right now, the most current is, what they're finding under the pyramids in Egypt. That's crazy.
Crazy.
I mean,
it's going to completely just change everything we knew about everything.
Yeah. And for that kind of technology, if that's what it was, with that kind of,
It's the Anunnaki, man.
Dude, it's unbelievable. There's no way that something like that would happen and be erased from history. No way.
Yeah. We erase crap all the time.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of crap. I mean, that's at that pace, that would have been what?
Listen,
hundreds and hundreds of years.
What's buried is easy to conceal, right? And those pillars are what, 100 meters down? And then there's other like rooms underneath them.
It's like 1,000 meters.
Are we going to dig? You think? Like, do you think we're just gonna be like, yeah, they're there and leave it?
I don't know. I think there's people that probably know more than we do.
Well, yeah, and I don't think we're ever going to find out.
No.
My cryptid kind of world, right? Like you saw my conspiracy bathroom.
Yeah.
I got Sasquatch, and then my buddy Jeff over the toilet, Golden Yeti. Shout out. I want Bigfoot to be real.
Yeah.
Do I think
there's things like that for sure for me?
Yeah. I think if he is real, he's like an interdimensional being who can travel in and out. That's why we can't find him.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
On the same sort of spectrum, I think it's interesting that like the deep sea creature thing has always interested me. There might be things that are there.
There are.
And it's not that we haven't or don't have the technology finding them, but it's a different planet down there.
Yeah. And actually they have, the U.S. government came out and divulged there is species like of life that are far superior to us.
Big time.
And not just talk about dolphins, like, a lot of the UAPs or UFOs forever for me, or AUPs, sorry.
Yeah.
But the UFOs, like when they come out, there's evidence and video proof of them hitting the water and they don't slow down. In fact, in some cases they speed up. There's an entire like Atlantean type thing.
Yeah.
Like
Atlantis is fascinating to me.
I mean, we know more about the sky than we do under our own ocean. So if you could fornicate with any kind of cryptid, like if you could discover a cryptid, or do you ever find any of them more attractive than the other ones? You know what I mean?
I think one of my ex-wives might have been a cryptid.
So you've already done it.
Yeah. I feel like I've been there.
I think you're being braggadocious.
Hey, I did it.
So you've already
I got the t-shirt.
So when you guys see him at shows, be like, yo, homeboy, banged a cryptid once.
It worked. It worked out. It was great. So
do you think that gave you like superpowers for playing guitar? Like
it might have.
Cryptid finger powers?
Yeah.
Like the pick of destiny type vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it might have.
Yeah, like major hands magic.
And here we are. Yeah.
I'm not going to go into detail, but off camera, we can maybe.
Oh, yeah. I'll
I'd
show
like
you
to learn. Teach me the ways.
Yeah.
Got these sausage fingers.
Oh, dude.
I feel like.
Mine are little stubs. Yeah.
I like it. Cryptids like it too.
Yeah. My fingers look like they got cut off at a knuckle. Yeah.
No, I asked him the other day, I was like, hey, is there anything you want to talk about that you don't normally get to talk about? He said something really divine, like basically, no, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, no.
And then I was tattooing you. I was like, I'm going to ask him if he could fornicate with a cryptid. But which one would that be?
Just being honest.
Yeah, no, I like it. That was good. That Jerome guy you were talking about earlier, he just talked about getting sprayed with a skunk.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
My dog's been sprayed a couple times. That's miserable. If he got sprayed, also that fits. If you know Jerome.
By what?
A skunk.
Oh, I thought a cryptid. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know what your ex.
Yeah, no. Well, might as well.
You know what I love about that too is you're not saying which one. That's a smart man.
Yeah.
You've done this before.
Yeah, I have. Podcasts.
Wait, this is your
interviews.
second podcast?
Second interview ever, yeah.
I mean, technically, I wouldn't say that this thing is a
Yesterday
podcast
was the
anymore.
first. Yeah, show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's ass now.
Yeah. I'm a big supporter of ass.
I'm going to make you a shirt that says I'm an ass man.
Done.
I told you, you chuckled.
It's catchy.
I was like,
it's
you
got
know
a
what?
thing to it. It's got the Riz.
The drip.
That's
yeah,
better.
your ass is going to drip.
Yeah.
Wearing your assy drippy
I know
ass
I'm using that
shirt.
wrong, I think, but
No, I think we're using it just right.
Yeah.
Just right. So what else is new? I mean, as far as like, You're getting ready to go on tour.
Yep.
Like you leave tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah, fly out tomorrow morning.
I'm just going to pry into you because I'm
Yeah.
pulling the homie card. Give me things that you don't get to talk about. I mean, I heard you on the interview yesterday, and like I said, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's different phases of how we would communicate, right? So if I'm on a radio thing and I've got 5 minutes, there's a specific thing that we each are trying to promote, sell, whatever. Even just notify and advertise. I'm not trying to diminish it in any way, but it's a very specific thing, making sure you hit certain talking points and promote what you want to promote. Like long form stuff like this, regardless, is pretty cool because you get the opportunity to peel back the layers a little more. No one's going to ask me, well, I have been asked, but in a radio interview, like, what's it like backstage, whatever, they're not going to get a real answer because it has to be so surface level. I can summarize and be like, well, it's just not what you necessarily think. If you think it's something, I've seen that and have been a part of that. That's great, but it's not what you think. It changes. We're not 22 years old anymore, so it probably isn't what you think. Dude, that's it, But I think that the backstage for us is more or less like our second home. I'm not a big like hotel guy. We stay in hotels, at least every other night, but I like to use mine more or less for a shower room or like relaxing and then go back to the bus and sleep.
Shower room.
Shower room, yeah. Like I said, we're getting older, and I think that the venue can. No, you're good. The venue can be the same way. So you go to your dressing room, and it just varies. So if you were in an arena, a lot of times there are locker rooms. You'll go to the team's locker room or something like that. So, and that can vary. You could be at a college hockey arena, and it smells like jock straps and whatever else is in there, and not the best. Like you want to put towels down when you shower in there. That kind of.
Do you find Sean in there like licking the floor or like hugging the walls a little bit more?
He's like a dog. It's best just let him finish,
That's the drummer of his band.
What the hell? Are you serious? Really, dude? I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen his tail actually. He does wag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially if you pat
Chasing
him.
cars.
Yeah. He's a big car guy. Yeah.
Most dogs are.
I digress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was kind of the thing too. Like we locally, we call it Deer Creek here. I don't know if you even know the venue I'm talking about, Ruoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever, right? And man, for years I saw Tom Petty there for the first time ever, and like I can't wait to go backstage.
Yeah.
And then you go backstage and you're like,
it's very
the
underwhelming.
idea of going backstage is better than back. I mean, not that it's not great.
No,
but it's like walls and smelliness and
to
wires.
dive in more, exactly. Back to the radio answer. I mean, bottom line, it's not necessarily as romantic as people make it out to be, because a lot of times, like I said, you're literally sitting in a locker room just with whatever, or you're sitting in a production office. You know what I mean? That the lights, there's no vibe. It looks like a cafeteria. So we try to do things. We'll try to have like, floor lamps with softer light bulbs or something like that, just so that you're not feeling like you're in a cafeteria or hospital all day. A couple of couches, the refrigerator full of a couple of drinks, and make sure everybody
You
has
could put your
what they want.
6 packs of
soda
in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, like you've got this thing. This is a concoction you're making, right?
Yeah. This is my new thing. My guitar tech Cowboy and Jerome have this thing on stage. After every show starts, they have a kind of tradition where there'll be stage left, which is my side of the stage. So they'll be off to my left here a little bit. And they crack open a topo and just kind of do a little cheers or whatever. And it's their way of just being like, all right, the workday's about over. Everything we need to do to prep for today is done. And that's a little celebration.
And that's mineral water, right?
Yeah.
And then you put Mio in it?
Yeah, I just put a little flavor, something in there to give it a little something. So it can basically a nice drink without caffeine in it that I can drink later.
I don't know what
Very
that's
refreshing. Yeah, I know, right? Not to say you have a problem, but
Oh, I do.
admitting you
I have
do.
a Coke problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diet Coke problem.
Yeah. Well,
Me and
admitting it
about
is the
every
first
other
step.
soccer mom in America.
Yeah.
I'm buying a
Admitting it's the first
minivan
step.
next week.
You'd look
Not
good in
because
one.
I
And I
wanna
don't think your
look
minivan
cool.
would look normal. by the
No,
way.
it just
Might be
cargo
a-
space.
A hearse is a minivan if you have some imagination.
Have you seen the minivans with the hearse ass things on them?
No.
Dude, they have like the little curly, the little curly metal.
Yeah. Done.
Probably get on Amazon.
Yeah.
Give Bezos a little bit more coin.
Oh, yeah.
Get my I should put those on every vehicle I've got.
Mm-hmm.
Even get a little BMX bike and put them on a bike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe on the front with some cards to make it sound like it. You know what I mean?
And the spokes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good. It's like Chewbacca.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that? Oh man, you're better at Chewbacca than I am. That's awesome. Oh. Nobody can do that one.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly. Otherwise, I'd be able to.
Yeah.
Just prove that. Come on, Ranch.
I know. I'm trying to step up my game here. If I had my career to start over, 20 something years ago, I would have changed my name to Jasen Ryan. My middle name is Ryan. It would have been an awful lot easier.
I mean, knowing what you know now, though, wouldn't Bourne be a better option?
Yeah.
Because it's Jasen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So picture it. You're on stage banging a cryptid. People are like, there he is. It's Jason Bourne right there.
That's yeah.
They're like, that's not a cryptid. That's just Sean licking the floor like a dog.
Well, what if they?
He's not even here to defend himself.
Yeah, I know. Does he pass through when he comes down?
I don't know. He never tells me.
He just was in Nashville the other day, and I didn't know he was there. Actually, here's a funnier story. Keith was recording for some of his solo stuff at a studio in Nashville with our producer, the producer walks up. His name's Andrew. Andrew walks upstairs and is like, dude, do you know Sean, the drummer? And he's like, you mean our drummer? Yes, I know Sean. And Andrew's like, he's downstairs. And Keith was like, what? Wait, and he went down there. Sure enough, Sean was there working too on something else that he was working. I'm like, all right, well, there you go. Small world.
He walks to the beat of his own drum.
Yeah. He sure does.
You know what I mean?
Don't try and keep up with it.
Do you like that?
Yeah. That's good.
I'm a dad. You're a dad.
Oh, yeah.
Dad jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Dad rock.
Mm-hmm.
Dad rocks.
Divorced dad rock.
Hell yeah. Oh, up top.
Oh, yeah. That's a thing.
Oh no, it's a thing for sure. Mm-hmm. Especially right now. Mm-hmm. I feel it.
Oh yeah.
Nothing's ever. You're very poetic. Nothing you've ever said has really like struck my soul. Your chords have, and your notes have for sure. I've felt that in my bones. But that
we had a Q&A one time with some fans, and they asked if we liked or resented that, that term, and Ben and I kind of just looked at each other like, it fits.
What is dad rock? I thought it was like Metallica. I mean, but now it's you guys.
Yeah, my kid's like, whatever, boomer.
Cedar. Boomer rock. Weird. It doesn't have a good ring to it.
I thought boomers were like our grandparents, or our parents, that generation.
The baby boomers.
Baby boomers.
We were just bored.
Yeah, and all these little
we should be the
millennials or zennials, whatever they are now, are taking it over.
You watch TLC? Do you watch trash TV?
Yeah.
What's your favorite trash TV thing?
Is TLC the 90 Day Fiance?
Oh, yeah.
Buddy?
Oh, yeah.
The cast afterwards watches the show.
Oh, yeah.
And comment on it. I just watch those.
The reunion episodes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like back in the day when I was trying to get through the 18,000 seasons of Supernatural. Mm-hmm. I would just watch the beginning and the end because I don't need to see their case.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, damn it, Dean. Or Sam.
That's a good
Damn it,
impression.
Sam.
Yeah.
Just want to eat my hamburger. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, Dad's still gone. Next episode. Dad's over here now.
I got into that show a little bit. I met one of the guys in Austin one time.
Which one?
Yeah. I don't.
Oh, you
really
would
know.
remember.
Well, you think he's going to remember me?
I ain't no cryptid, but they're good looking dudes, man.
I think it's the one with the longer hair.
That's okay. He's fine. But if it was going to be Jensen, I was going to leave the table.
Okay.
I was actually going to leave the house. You could just stay here and pay my bills. Turn the light off when you're done, please.
Lock up.
No, the reason why I ask about TLC, I forget now, but ultimately, But ultimately, man, I would say Hot and Heavy was my favorite thing on TLC.
Mm-hmm.
Hot and Heavy was about bigger women with like hot dudes. And we were like 4 episodes in and they were like, no. But we're going to make this girl with Tourette syndrome or like.
That one I love. We've been following Balin long before she had a TV show.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Wind It Up. We used to do that before shows all the time.
Watch the show if you want to know what the hell we're doing or talking about. Imagine going into Walmart with X-ray goggles. Like you see the magazine ad when we were kids.
Oh, yeah.
You buy them, you send in the slip.
Mad TV.
Yeah, and then when you get in, they're like,
Mad
only
magazine?
works at Walmart. And you go to Walmart, and that's the only people you can see naked.
Oh, yeah.
TLC.
Yeah, that's good.
Tender Loving Care.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever it
I like that,
for.
too. I'm not a Walmart guy. I feel like at a Super Target, you find anything. And if I need to find it, I'll go to whatever store has it, as long as it's not Walmart.
Well, this is really embarrassing, but this episode's brought to us by Walmart. No, it's not. No, we only have one sponsor.
Brought to us by Target.
And it's Target. Yeah. Really missed the target on that joke.
Ooh.
Wait. Hold on. There it is. Yeah. I forgot about these. It's been a year since I made an episode. You're the first episode back for a year. So take 2. Really missed the target on that one.
That's good.
You like that?
Yeah.
I won't
Snare
do
had
it
some
again.
good ring on it.
Yeah. Did you produce that?
I would have. I like Ring on Snares.
Yeah.
Everybody
You want to
meets
make
the
me
ring.
make me something?
Yeah.
Dude, make me a ending to one of these shows.
Yeah.
There's like a program one we used to use all the time, and I thought, you know what? We should probably not use that. How many shows use that? So the channel recently just dropped the Salt House documentary, which you just got tattooed in, and we didn't have a personal experience in there for 2 whole days.
Well, we did have. No, there was the voice that we kind of heard. You had heard.
Well, but you didn't hear it. Though.
No, I didn't hear it, but I had my face buried in the pillow.
Sure.
Cringing,
But I only count if like you hear it.
Okay.
Because I hear crap all the time.
Okay.
But then it becomes like a hysteria thing.
Well, the evidence was actually in the lack of evidence because you went when it happened. You said, "What time is it? 1:58." Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at that because you have the cameras run everywhere, obviously. And you went back and looked at it. And you're like, "This happens all the time." And you were showing me it just right at 1:58. It just stops filming and picks back up.
Yes.
On all of the different
It picks back.
cloud-based cameras. I'm like, what?
You know what? Actually, thank you for saying that. Because since I dropped that documentary, people are like, hack.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people, thank you guys very much for all the support on that video, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who are like awesome, like incredibly humbling and awesome. But obviously it's YouTube. So there's a lot of people that are like,
Oh yeah, people. That's their job.
yeah,
is
they're
to
like
make themselves
trolls,
feel better
you
by
know.
trolling other people.
But I'm like, I'm not faking this crap. So that's why I'm like, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, I had a studio in Nashville years ago that I got in an old early 1900s, like 1907, something like that, Victorian home, and kind of had it redone as, I don't know if I ever told you the history of the house. Had it redone as a studio. So small little 2 bedrooms, kind of an apartment that turned into just livable quarters for an apartment thing. Kitchen was the kitchen. The living room had the original floors and the 9-foot ceilings. So it was enough and super bright and loud. I could do drums in there. And then there was I think probably in like the 80s, like an add-on built on the back of the house. And I was able, similar to the size of this room, I could kind of built that into a control room and then had all the wiring run in the basement, the crawl space that was underneath that I used for guitar cabs and the wired run in there. They were always mic'd up. It was a cool spot, but there was a lot of things that we and other bands witnessed there. So when I was moving in, there was kind of like an attic, but you can only get to it from like one of those 2x2 kind of entryways. So
The skinny guy entryways.
Mm-hmm. So I crawled in there because I was running cable. I was going to run it down the wall, so I'm running through the attic. The only thing that came up there was a Ouija board and like some sort of journal from something.
Like was in the hole?
Yeah, in the attic. Yeah. In this little like deranged box, whatever. Come to find out, so before I was there was a psychic that was there for 15, 20 years. Well, the way the property is set out, it's in a pretty rural country town, right? And so commercially, sometimes how they zone is per sides of the block. So it's not necessarily the lot. It's like this side is commercial, this side we can put residential on. So like next to me was an attorney's office, and the other side of me was just this little small podunk hair place. The other side was the Austin Bell funeral home. So there was a shed out back. We had a big storm come through, and old shed, and it blew kind of the storm sideways. And again, even though I had the property,
Shed sideways.
Mm-hmm, even though we had the property, it was still part of that big thing. So I just had a long-term lease on that kind of thing. And we wake up, I go in the studio early one morning, and there's like bulldozers in the back because there was this big shared lot behind us, and they were pushing the shed out of the way. It turns out that there was a couple of caskets in there. That was part of the Austin family and the Bell family that were originally owned the land there. Come to find out, the Bell this is Springfield, Tennessee. 2 cities over is Adams, Tennessee, where the Bell Witch is. They're all kin to that. So the property was tied there. They had the psychic involvement and that sort of things. And we were like, oh, we found out all this out after the fact because there would be things like bands would stay at the house, not go stay at my house, so they'd come in, move in for a month while we're working on a record. They would, gives me chills thinking about it. They would have like recordings on their phones and stuff like that of the night before. They kept hearing something, obviously coming from like the crawl space or whatever. And like guitar cabinets that were not plugged in were like playing radio stations and stuff like that. Like from a technical standpoint, you can't. To have a guitar, cab, you have to have power to it. 2, if you're going to have interference, you have to have some cable to it. It's a passive magnet. It doesn't do that. And so these real AM sounding like voices and things would come from the guitar cabs. We'd always hear singing coming out of like where the living room and fireplace was, like this woman singing. It's pretty wild. Our band called The Letter Black, and they have a female singer, and she had just had a baby. And so we set up, there's a small room. I used to use it as like a little writer's room. I had these old Victorian couches. I had a church pew in there that I bought. And so she would go in there, we'd let her nurse and that sort of stuff. And she had a little baby swing. And she said that one day when she was nursing, she came out and just said, the swing just started swinging by itself while I was sitting there nursing. And I'm like, we used to call the ghost or whatever it was, we just called him Edgar. So I totally know there's something there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like an angel demon thing, a ghost thing, apparition thing, if it's spirits, but there's something, you know what I mean? It never bothered me. It was really interesting to me and I loved it. So we just leaned into it.
Did you ever catch anything like, there were times when I was filming the documentary where like I would catch a disembodied voice accidentally. Like I'm in the middle of an interview and like I, hear something. When I kept my dad in, but we heard a couple of growls. Like when my stepfather was down in the basement, we heard a growl. And I was like, man, no one's going to believe this story. So some things were like not enough or, you know what I mean? I was like, I need to cut some things out of this documentary. Otherwise, have you ever accidentally caught like a disembodied voice while recording a track?
No, but while recording, I was recording with one vocalist. We had an experience where we both heard something and he heard it as well. We stopped and went back like that had to be there and played it back. It wasn't, but we both heard it. You know what I mean? It was.
Dude, that happens all the time.
Really?
And then
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing. Like, for instance, today we heard that, like we were just talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess
we
that's
both
a good
heard
example.
that voice and we're like, did you hear it? And you're like, no. I'm like, of course not. Because there was a part of me that goes, if someone who has your stature in the community, as far as like being famous or whatever you want to refer to it as, right? I was like, if someone who is like known to a bunch of people, if I have evidence of you hearing something, it just legitimizes in particular because
Of course, yeah.
because I want that. And I feel like the more you want it, the more it doesn't happen.
Yeah, maybe there's some sort of awareness there and what's happening. I did a ghost tour recently. So we played a festival called Incarceration.
Yeah,
The
prison.
Yeah. So I did like a ghost tour for a radio thing there. We went through with all these different things. And there's a really eerie shower room, which I guess a lot of stuff went down. And there was definitely things in there that we heard and like just cold blasts going by you and stuff like that. Some of that was recorded and I had like the infrared thing. It was pitch black, but you could see, just, it wasn't like a figure or anything like that, but you would just see this like little
Something.
40 degrees colder than whatever else is around it. Just beep.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. You guys have a tour coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You're leaving tomorrow. Let's say to fly to, I don't know if you'll tell where, but you're flying out.
So I go to
on tour.
Jersey. Yeah. I'm going to Jersey to do a couple days of writing and recording before we hit rehearsals a couple days later. So I'm flying in a couple days earlier than the other guys, wrapping some stuff up with our singer,
What's his name again?
Ben.
Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Ben
Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah.
So it's not just a clever name.
That's right. I know.
Yeah.
We still don't have a definitive real reason. It's kind of a why the name is that, I think.
Who you on tour with?
This is with Stained, Wage War, and Lakeview. Close to with all of them. The Wage War guys, Cody I know really well. He lives in Nashville. We've worked together multiple things. The Lakeview guys live in Nashville. I know them from home as well. So it's and Cody's worked with them too. Two of the guys in Stained are in Nashville. So I see them all around town quite a bit.
It's a killer lineup. Wage War has been one of my favorites.
They're amazing
for sure.
Yeah, they're kind of setting the new standard for kind of metal now,
No, that'd be awesome. And then you guys have an album coming out next year.
Mm-hmm.
We expect more singles, right? Because came out and exploded.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So then you have album next year, and then you have another tour in the fall with 3 Days Grace, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're going to do that. Yeah. We have a song, maybe two more released prior to album coming out. But yeah, I mean, as far as being finished with it, we're pretty freaking close to it right now. We've just never been like the band that's going to rush into anything and half-ass it because that's kind of what happens. And we've always given ourselves a liberty to really get to the point where like, man, this just isn't it. We may have to start over on this song.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this, because I heard you saying this to the radio guy yesterday. You were talking about that. You're like, a lot of bands write 100 songs and they pick the 13 or 12. You guys would rather write 10 or 12 and then rewrite 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Write them 10 times if we have to.
I try not to talk to you too much about music other than just like, well, my bands are even like, hey, ask him this. So I've been bugging him with my bands. Like they've been texting me questions all week.
I'm glad to help.
Yeah, no, you're very open, which is
Hopefully it's
very
I
awesome.
hope I'm about to steer. I might be steering them in the wrong direction.
No,
they're
you know
going to
what?
get 10 years down the road. He's like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have listened to that.
That's how the entire industry with all you guys is anyway. We switched from being a band to the Adam Stoner band or whatever. Jerome. By the way, just real quick, if you guys don't know who we're talking about, we say Jerome. I forget what episode that is, but Jackie Jerome and I did an episode. So man, go check it out. He's really awesome. Shameful plug here. This photo right here. So basically, he was like, man, you want to go solo. You want to be a solo band. And then when I went to go hang out with you guys in Nashville a couple months ago, we're sitting at the table and he's like, yeah, man, you really need to find a band name. You should probably be in a band. Being a solo artist is not cool.
Fun.
One time I talked to him, he's like, man, make your reels 30 seconds to the max. You know what I mean? Talked to him again. Make your reels -5 seconds. That's what the record label's looking at now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you guys keep up.
Well, the industry is always chasing. And that's why when you get a band that finally hits and connects, it's because they're doing something that no one else is. And then guess what? Everybody chases that thing. So, you know, you've got, in our lifetime, we've got Nirvana and you got Korn and you got Linkin Park that just kind of completely changed and everybody followed that style of music. And I mean, currently we've got, you know, Bad Omens or like Sleep Token right now are just destroying it. They're never going to be played on radio. They're never, well, I don't know. Maybe they're going to change. Yeah, maybe they're going to change and that's what they want to do and it's going to happen. Or maybe radio will pick them up. I won't say never, but that's not what they're built for. You know, they got 7-minute songs. They're unidentified. They're completely anonymous, no press, no radio, no interviews ever. And it's the #1 most consumed song in the world when it comes out, you know? So
I will tell you too, it's word of mouth with that as well, because like
It's
Sleep
crazy.
Token, I hear it and I've seen the outfits and stuff. And I'm like, okay, like Ghost really started bringing, I mean, obviously we had
Yep.
King Diamond and
Yep.
Cooper and all my you know,
course,
all my
of
guys,
course.
you know, Kiss
that
and
paved the way
everything.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, now you have, I'm like, okay, cool. So I've heard a couple. I didn't really give much. But listening to Sleep Token, if you're sleeping on that band, then what you want to do is check that freaking band out. I mean, you have made me a mega fan of that.
Yeah. And it's something that you can listen to cover to cover. And it's
That's rare,
it
dude.
was so rare. That was Linkin Park and Hybrid Theory and Meteor. The songs were so good. No, regardless of what format it was going to be at, those songs were going to work. Pop artists could cover them. Metal artists could cover them. At the end of the day, I mean, we try to do that when we're writing to where no matter what a riff is or how heavy or how not heavy it is, can you sit down and play it on acoustic and sing it and it still be a good song? Because if you can, or play it on piano, if that's still there and you can convey that the power of that song, then it has the foundation that it needs. It's not relying on the production and other things.
Dude, I'm going to have you back on if you're cool to come back on.
I'd love to, yeah. I'll be
Yeah.
back, so.
Well, I mean, I got to get my, I'm like a duck on water. I'm calm, but underneath I'm flipping crazy because it's been so long. And I'm like, man, I'm going to be editing this.
Yeah.
And I want to be like, I should have said this, should have did that. I'm not warmed up yet.
Yeah.
Plus,
we'll do it again.
You have ruined my brain
Yeah, I have.
for the amount of work we've done on your back and back
Require
of your
a lot
neck.
of attention. I'm a little prissy that way.
Yeah, no, this man sits really, really well. So there's a couple things we know. One, you're uber talented, super cool dude, very humble. You're a badass for sitting for tattoos.
Oh, thank you.
And you're a great host and guest. And he's had sex with a cryptid. Okay? Don't let go of that.
Don't
When you
sleep
see him
on
at
that.
shows,
Don't sleep on that.
homeboy,
Yeah.
he did a cryptid once.
Yeah.
I'm just jealous.
We'll dive
Like I
in
said,
more
I want
next
Bigfoot
time.
to be real, but I never told you why.
All right. Yeah. I have a reason.
Thank you guys for joining. We'll be back.
You
Wait,
know,
do you want to say anything else?
you know Bigfoot has a big hog, right? Yeah, that's what
I'm
wanna see.
hoping for it.
Dude, that dude's probably got a hammer.
It probably smells
Yeah.
real bad.
They don't wash. You know they don't wash.
I like that though.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I want to see.
Do you want to hear this old Exit song we used to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like that?
Oh, that's good.
Man, you know what I mean? You got to write me a new one, please.
Just thinking about Bigfoot's dick listening to this. This is great.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much for watching the Adam Stoner Show. I want to say we are back, baby. Sometimes it's just going to be me. Sometimes I'm going to have guests. I won't let them talk. That's the way the show goes.
I love it, man. Thanks for having me.
Jasen Rauch, or Ranch. Cheers, man.
Absolutely.
Diet Coke and water. Shh.
Beep, 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 beep.
I'm just saying, we're talking.
Why not?
You know, we might as well just keep it in the dark. You know, no one needs to see her face. We could be anyone right now.
It's true.
In fact, if you at all you want to disguise your voice,
Oh yeah.
I mean,
All right. We just talk like this. It's true. So, what do you think Bigfoot's dick looks like? I don't know, but it's majestic.
can't do that. Okay, Jackie thinks it's like Red Rocket, like a dog.
Yeah, like a dog penis.
I can see it, but I hope it's
Maybe.
not.
I don't know, man.
They
I'm
kinda
thinking
creep me
more-
out.
Yeah.
Like a dog penis.
Well,
Creeps me out.
I feel like it's an evolution from some sort of primate kind of thing, and some of those homies have some hogs on them too. Just full mushroom head, baby arm. Burp, 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 burp. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what it is, but just with a little more hair content. Like maybe it's a hairy shaft.
like Wolfman had a hard on.
yeah,
Like maybe like his penis has sideburns.
Yeah, well, because like I said,
But Sasquatch
all
burns.
the mock-ups and pictures that we've seen or whatever, they're all very androgynous and look like a hairy Ken doll.
Well, who's to say? Because he walks all weird, right? Maybe he has to like
Imagine the chain
weave
thing.
his penis in his leg hair
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's so long
He
and
tucks
bulbous.
it. Yeah,
You know,
bulbous for sure.
it's like it's a very long bulbous penis.
I see as like a horse dick, like that thing. Yeah,
I've seen some videos, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've seen that one.
Some
too.
donkey show. You
Yeah.
ever been to Mexico?
No,
Unrelated. Unrelated.
yeah,
Yeah. There's a really cool Bigfoot museum we went to outside of Atlanta. It's not too far from you.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
I always thought you were going to say like up in BC or something like that.
No,
but
no.
just in the
And,
south.
and I was like, oh, I saw these like billboards for it. I'm like, oh my God. Hell yeah. And we went and it was legit.
Where was
dude.
the original sighting?
That's a good question. It's worth a Google. I can Google it.
Because I for some reason I was thinking that was up in British Columbia area or something like that.
No,
But,
California, I thought.
yeah, maybe, but on the
this-
north side probably
The first.
redwoods or something like that.
Are you okay? So you're saying first sighting or
Well,
the first
yeah,
document? Like,
Yeah, the documented like
all right, we're way off here. The earliest widely documented report of Bigfoot like creature is from 1846 in eastern Arkansas, or better known as Arkansas.
way off.
Yeah, Arkansas.
Did they see his dick?
Way off? Yeah, they said where a footprint measuring 22 inches was discovered. I mean, if his foot is 22
That
inches,
thing's a tripod. Sounds horrifying.
all right, man, I need some alone time.
I know.